Hello and welcome back. So I got myself a new headset. Hopefully the sound quality is better. Honestly though, I just needed a new one. The old one, the ears were getting a little ragged. But anyway, that's enough about me. So we're going into the final of our 6-game stretch, where we are currently 3-2. This series started with the Moose, and we had a big win against the Moose in Game 2 of that series, ended up splitting it, and then another big game against the Blowfish in Game 2 of that series, ended up splitting that series as well. Houndstooth was pretty good in his first start, but our bat's unable to get anything going. And then we actually have a 2-game win streak in Game 1 against the Herbisaurs. Winnie Noel went complete game, 1-run ball. So Angel Verde is going to take the mound for us today, and if we can sweep this series, we will be 4-2 in this 6-game set. I believe this is as close to must-win as any Game 18 can be. We got off to a horrendous start. We were 2-10 when we started this series, this 6-game set that is, and now 5-12. So certainly on the up and up. But if we end up going if we end up going 500 for it, then I don't think we really have a chance to make the postseason. I think we need to make a statement here. So with that, I think we can just get right into the game. I've already set the lineup. The big change today is I move Cash Basket up to the 6th position. That makes our 5 and 6 hitters both lefties against right-handed pitching. Cash Basket's a switch hitter. And I also brought in Rocky Backstop as DH instead of Bad Hop Brown, who is tense. And hard hit ball to start the game. Angel Verde will get the first out, and that'll bring him out of tense. So gotta be happy about that. I was actually worried going into this that he was a little bit tense. As I said, Freebooters in a definite must-win scenario here. And shatters the bat, but foul. There's a soft grounder to third. Polbean will throw to first in time for the second out. If Angel Verde can have a good start here, I think we have a chance at getting to their starter. I actually forget his name. His stats were good, not great. And our lineup is vastly improved over what it was when we through the first part of the season. What I worry about, of course, is that we just... Oh, and there is a strike, but the catcher lets it get away from him, and he'll make it to first in time. So, drop third strike, and the base runner is now on first in what should have been out 3. Well, we have to see how Angel Verde can respond to that. That's one of those things that happens in baseball. Although it would have been nice to get through the inning on 11 pitches. So we'll send the runner, hard hit ball. That's going to get through for a base hit. So runner on his way to third, and he'll be safe. Herbisaurs now have ducks on the pond with 2 outs. Henry Hamster at the plate, very dangerous hitter. Currently tense, but hitting .319 with 10 RBIs. Very good stats. That looked good, but a little bit inside. I guess it didn't quite catch the plate. And after the drop third strike, Verde has struggled to get the outs. He will walk the bases full.
Now batting, the center fielder,
I said, the drop third strike is something that happens in baseball. You have to be able to adapt, and he really has not. But Angel Verde has had base runners all season and has gotten out of these situations. So maybe he's just more comfortable with the bases loaded. And the count will be worked full. They will send everyone Fouls off to stay alive. Here's the payoff. Well hit ball, straightaway center, but Brickhouse is going to get to it. So missed a grand slam by a couple of feet, but Freebooters get out of the inning. Score remains 0-0 in the first. Tusker Floss is pitching today. That's his name. Tusker Fuss. And wow, Kelly Pulbein got a hold of that one. That's not coming back down. Home run to straightaway center. It's going to bounce off the stands. Kelly Pulbein gets her first home run and puts the first Freebooter run of the day on the board. This could be a long day for Tusker Fuss. One would hope. Oakley Stiff's now at the plate.
Nope, that's outside.
And he is, if nothing else, making this a long at-bat. And there's the walk. Nice job of Stiffs working the count and getting on base. And Guns Jackman has been quietly our best hitter all season, hitting .349 with 4 home runs, but he'll pop this one up to the infield. And feels a little bit sacrilegious to say that with Cash Basket in the roster. Brickhouse will hit one hard but foul. But stat-wise, Jackman has been the best hitter on this team. And he has been excellent through this stretch of games. Well, we'll see what Brickhouse can do. I'll take one for a third ball. And probably swung at ball 4, but that's going to be a hit. And it's going to be extra bases. They'll send the runner home. Boy, Stockton Brickhouse gets an RBI double, and the Freebooters are up 2-0 in the first inning. Tusker Fuss came into this with an ERA around 3.5 and already ballooning up to 4.2. There's another hard hit ball. We'll see if they send the runner. They will not. Not surprising. It was hit so hard the outfielder got to it almost immediately. But here she is. Cash Basket. Currently leading the MVP boat. 4 home runs on the season, tied for a team lead, and hitting .286. But I'll tell you, that .286 always seems to be when we need them. And there's another one! Cash Basket now takes the team lead. Are you kidding me? Takes the team lead in home runs. I believe that also ties her in RBIs. Actually, she's still a little bit behind Jackman, but Cash Basket puts the Freebooters up 4-0, 5-0 in the first inning, and the Freebooters still only 1 out. They could keep going. Tusker Fuss just wants to get an out now. And there it is. Swinging strike on a low fastball. Very low. Not really sure what he was swinging at there. That'll bring up Cale Santana, who has been very good since bringing him on in game 12, I think, or 13. Hitting .400, 1 home run, 6 RBIs in 6 games. Can't do much better than that. And he'll hit one. Hamster's going to get to it, and there's the third out. Almost got through, but the pitcher able to deflect it towards third. And Freebooters will come up. Angel Verde now pitching with a very comfortable 5-0 lead. Also, thanks to Winnie Noel's excellent performance yesterday, the Freebooters can feel free to turn to their bullpen at any point today. Everyone is rested. Lupinovich is actually juiced and ready to go. I mean, it's a health status. I don't mean if the juiced is in reference to steroids, but I wouldn't be shocked, and I don't care if it is. So Jackman will take the first pop out at second for the first out. And Verde able to get out of the last inning intact, although he did have to throw a lot of pitches. He's already got 37 in the second inning. Does get the first out quickly. Annabelle Stokes fouling off a lot of pitches. He keeps going outside to her. See if he tries something inside, and there she looks at a low outside pitch for strike 3.
The catcher, Fiona Clark.
That'll bring up Fiona Clark. Angel Verde would love to get a quick inning, relatively quick. Well hit ball though. This isn't going to get him out of the inning. That one's going all the way to the wall. They'll send the runner. Brickhouse throws, not in time. Stokes slides into second with a double with 2 outs. That'll bring up Morton Stanberg. Herbisaurs hoping to respond to the Freebooters' 5-run first inning. And Verde again. There's a high pop. All the way back to the wall. We'll see where this goes. Basket able to get to it. Missed at least a base hit by maybe a foot. But Freebooters again able to get out of the inning. And Appleseed rattled. He did get the start today. Simply because of the importance of the game, but perhaps Kenna Corn would have been the better choice. Kelly Polbean had the leadoff home run to start the game. But she will strike out looking here. And Oakley Stiffs took a walk and scored in the first inning. Hard hit ball. We'll see if he can get to it. He cannot. Rojas not quite able to get to it. The ball bounces just before he reaches it. And Stiffs is on with a single. That'll bring Guns Jackman to the plate. I said Jackman has been the best hitter on this team. Highest on base percentage, and speaking of, he'll get on there with a walk. He has hit and played much better since moving to second base. There's a hard hit single through the center. They'll send the runner home. Yoink Sachs will field and fires not in time. Freebooters extend their lead to 6-0. That'll bring up Sturdy Woodman with 2 on and 2 out. Swing a bit late there. Freebooters lineup has just lit fire in this 6-game set. But Woodman will strike out there to end the threat. Still, Freebooters able to tack another run on in the second to make this a 6-0 game. Herbisaurs have 2 hits. Angel Verde elevating his pitches right now a little bit. There is, he definitely pressed on that one. Rojas reaches for that one, grounds to first for the first out. I'll bring up Ralph Blue, 313, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs. Herbisaurs in general, not a bad hitting team by any means. They certainly have some dangerous bats, but overall just not one of the more dangerous teams in this league. And Verde will get the strikeout for the second out. Now we've seen him get 2 quick outs in this game and then struggle, but the first inning that struggle was because of a dropped third strike. Quickly gets 2 inside fastballs by for strikes. And there's a hard hit ball up the center. This inning will continue. Grunt Manley on first with a single. So Angel Verde has been unable to get through an inning at this point. Ooh, Hamster way late on that swing. Has been unable to get through an inning without giving up a hit or a walk, and Appleseed will drop another one. Looked like a slider, just kind of got away from him, spun out of the glove. Runner advances to second. But Hamster swinging way early on that one for strike 3. So Verde throwing a lot of smoke and mirrors today, but he is getting the outs. That'll bring up Cash Basket. And the story of this team, for sure, she had the big 3-run homer in the first. She'll pop up here. She is now leading the team in home runs, which is especially remarkable considering she was a backup for basically our first 10 games. Rocky Backstop actually seeing his first start today. He was 0 for 1 going into the game, now 1 for 3. And we'll see if Kale Santana can get anything going against Fusk. Will that curve fair? It will not. And there's a grounder. It looks like Stokes is going to get to it at second and flip to first for the out. So Herbisaurs get a nice little 1-2-3 inning, and they're going to need to start making up some ground now if they want to make this a game. Currently behind 6-0. Angel Verde still on the mound. 4th inning. He's thrown 71 pitches. A lot of them in that very long first inning. Boy, Oakley Stiffs nearly got to that one. But it ends up in the stands. And there's a soft grounder to Jackman at second. He will throw to first for the out.
Now batting, the shortstop, Milo Stewart.
If the Freebooters are able to hold on to this lead, another soft grounder to second, throw to first in time for the second out. If the Freebooters are able to hold on to this lead, then they will have their not only their first 2 games in a row, but their first 3-game win streak. Brickhouse will get to that one for the 3rd out. Nice job of running out in the outfield there. And that'll bring up Appleseed, who still only has 1 hit. And we might need to sit him again. We're definitely going to be sitting him in the next game regardless. There's a well-hit ball, though. He's going to reach first. It's going to get past the diving third baseman. He will not attempt second. Wouldn't have had it if he tried. But able to stay with that one and ground it past the infield. Now, Appleseed is normally the slowest member of this team, but given his current mojo status, is by far the slowest member of this team currently. Kelly Polbeam will walk to get on. So Tusker Fuss gives up a quick 2 base runners.
The right fielder, Oakley Stiffs.
And almost threw that one wildly. Catcher able to get to it. Oakley Stiffs will hammer that one. Yoink Sachs has a hard time grabbing it, and the bases are loaded. Appleseed was so slow, there was actually a danger that if Sachs had handled that, he might have been thrown out. He had to hold up in the infield. There was no way he was getting home on that one. They are playing the infield in, so Guns Jackman has an opening if he can hit it over the infield. And there it goes. Jackman will send it. They'll send Polbean. They'll send the runner to third. Polbean scores. Jackman has himself a 2-run single. And they will bring in Chuck Filthwick. Tusker Fuss gave up 8 runs, responsible for 2 more. Unable to get an out in the 4th. Chuck Filthwick, well named. He throws hard, he throws with great junk, and he'll get the strikeout there.
Now back, the first base
Sturdy Woodman has 4 home runs in the season. I actually did not know that. Going into this was part of a 3-way tie. There's a well-hit ball, center left. Yoink Sacks will track it down. They'll send the runner, though, so Woodman will have the RBI. And Freebooters now have a 9-0 lead. And here's Cash Basket with 2 outs and a runner on first. She's now hitting .300, 5 home runs, 11 RBIs. And there's a looping ball, almost dunks in, but held up just enough for Morton Stanberg to get to it. And there's the 3rd out. Freebooters get another 3 runs. And the line for, Tusk? I forgot his name. But that will be 9 earned runs in 3 innings pitched. A terrible performance for him. Angel Verde still the pitcher for the Freebooters. He has thrown 82 pitches. He's locked in, so he could keep going. We'll see if he can get a quick 5th inning. There's a well-hit ball to center. Stockton Brickhouse tracking it down, but that's going to end up in the seats. Herbisaurs get their first run of the game. A home run to straightaway center, 426 feet. Morton Stanberg picks up his 4th home run. Herbisaurs cut the deficit, now 9-1. Well hit ball right to Cale Santana, who will fire to first for the 2nd out.
Now batting, the designated hitter, Ralph Blue.
And Angel Verde will probably get through the 5th, but I'm not sure I would expect to see him go that deep into the 6th at this point. Thrown 90 pitches. There's a soft grounder to 2nd. Jackman will field, throw to 1st in time. And Freebooters get out of the inning, giving up just the solo shot. So Verde, in spite of that tough 1st inning, has now gone 5 innings with 1 run and 4 hits. That'll bring up Rocky Backstop, currently 1 for 3, and make that 2 for 4. He will hit a hard single past the diving infielder.
Now batting, the shortstop, number 4.
1 base runner quickly for the Freebooters, holding a 9-1 lead in this one. Cale Santana at the plate. Filthwick throws that 2-seamer so hard and such movement on it. There's a high pop to right, doesn't quite have the distance. Runner remains on first, and there's 1 down. That'll bring up Appleseed. Actually 1 for 2 in this game. And he was able to score last time he was up. Well hit ball, but right to Stewart. This should be 2. On to first, there's a double play. So Freebooters get nothing in the inning. Herbisaurs come up facing a 9-1 deficit. Verde's still in the game. He's thrown 90 pitches. We'll see if he can get through the 6. There's a soft grounder to first. Woodman will carry to the bag himself.
Now batting, the 3rd baseman, Henry Hempster.
Verde's ERA was over 5 going into this one. He's managed to bring it down to 4.5. There's a high pop. Very high. And Jackman will field for the 2nd out. 2 go down quickly here. That'll bring up Yoink Sacks, who had a big hit earlier in the game. 14 RBIs. So hitting .266 with just 1 home run, but he is getting those hits in big moments for sure. There's a soft grounder to 3rd. Polbean will barehand it and fire to 1st. A nice throw by her for the 3rd out. So one of the things I think we can talk about is the way franchise mode is set up in this game. As you could see, we weren't really able to make moves while going through that horrible losing streak. In the first season, all generated free agents start at their highest possible salary requests, which is just unrealistically high. Pole bean will pop up for the first out, behind the plate. There are some complaints about this system. I kind of like it. I think it forces you to use your team and kind of figure out who's good, who's not. Now think about it, if they had been affordable going into this season, and Stiffs will strike out, if they had been affordable going into this season, then we probably would have moved Cash Basket, we probably would have kept Steamboat Whistle, we probably would have made a bunch of moves in the infield and outfield that might have undermined some of the successes we did end up having. I think especially Cash Basket has been quite a story this year, and if we had moved her early, we never would have seen it. I think the system... Oh, Walks Brickhouse. Or not Brickhouse. Who was that? Sorry, I was talking. I did not pay any attention. But that'll bring up Brickhouse. 2 outs, man on first. Now, I think it's good design. I like that it forces you stuck in Brickhouse. It's a hard single up the center. So Freebooters might have something going here with 2 outs. In spite of some of the errors and bugs we've encountered, I think overall franchise mode is set up and designed really well in this game. Chuck Filthwick has already thrown 40 pitches. We'll see if he can keep going. Or how much longer he can keep going. There's another hard hit ball. Let's see if they send the runner home. They will. Yoink Sachs will throw in time. A nice throw right on line. And that'll be the 3rd out. Well, that'll bring up the Herbisaurs, trying to cut into this lead a bit more with Angel Verde still throwing. He's thrown 100 pitches. I would expect this to be his last hitter. There's a soft grounder to short. Santana fields and throws. So overall, I think the design of franchise mode is very good. They'll turn to Emery Doyle. Let's see if he can... Good move, actually. With a 9-1 lead, you want to get him some confidence. And he has been really bad for us in close games. But this is one of those that you kind of hope. High pop to left. That short field is dangerous, even with the high wall. But Basket will field. So Doyle actually able to get out some quick outs. And Jackman will throw that away into the dugout. So the inning continues, kind of reminiscent of the first. Let's see if Doyle can work his way out of it. I'll talk more about franchise mode in a moment. Let's see what happens here. That's going to be foul by about a foot. He missed an RBI double there. Very narrowly. Doyle throwing that 4-seamer a lot and keeping it over the plate. Almost gets the swinging strikeout. And gets it. The high slider inside. Not a pitch I would have seen coming. Nice job by Doyle getting out of the inning. So Emery Doyle has himself a nice inning there. So Cash Basket, of course, is kind of my case study for why I think the way they set up free agency works. Because, as I said earlier, we never would have met her. There's a hard single up the middle for her 2nd hit of the game. We never would have, I mean, we would have met her, but we never would have seen what she actually was at the plate. And I think those traits are very powerful, but I think overall she's just a very well-designed player. Rocky backstop's going to have a soft grounder. Basket will advance. And the other thing I'd like to say is that this Metalhead has always done an excellent job at creating very simple interface with very deep underlying mechanics, and I think that franchise mode is a tremendous example of this. of course, it does have its weaknesses. I think specifically... Boy, that would have been a double play if Basket hadn't made it to second there. Let's see if Steven Appleseed can get anything going. We'll bring in Lenaro Ramiro. So, franchise mode, it's very fun. It's also much deeper than it looks. I like the way they set up free agency. I think it forces you to play with a team before you start mixing players around and kind of finding out what your optimal lineup and your optimal fielding situation is before you actually make those signs and releases. There's oh man, he almost had that on the diving stop, but that'll be a single. The issue we had, obviously, is that our team just got off to such a bad start that it might have made it impossible for us to come back. There's a hard hit ball, and Doyle's going to give up the 2-run shot. So Herbisaurs cut the lead 9-3 now. We'll see if they leave Doyle in. We still have a 6-run lead, so I wouldn't really expect much. But they might turn to McBride if Doyle is unable to get any the outs. Herbisaur is down to their last 6 outs. They have 6 runs to get, which is not impossible, but highly improbable. Anyway, the issue with the way it's set up is that if you get off to a really bad start, you can't really do anything about it until at least the first quarter of the season is over. This is no matter how many games you have set up, so if you have a 16-game season, it would generally be around like game 5 or 6 where free agents become affordable. In our case, a 48-game season, they weren't affordable until game 12, 13. If you do 160 games, the free agent price won't come down generally until, what, about 30, 40 games. It was a hard hit ball, and Jackman not able to handle it. So he won't even try to throw the first. And he's going to lose some mojo there. Now, I don't think, obviously, the game is perfect. We ran into some issues. I did report them. There's a high pop to right. That should be the second out. And it's not. Oakley Stiffs mishandles the ball to load the bases. I'm not sure what's going on here. The Freebooters' gloves just suddenly not working. They're going to bring in Whopper Batsman. Terrible contact, but if he gets a hold of one, it's going places. And surprisingly, leaving in Doyle. Now, a big hit here could actually make this a game. Batsman represents run number 8. And there it is. A grand slam for the Herbisaurs. As I said, Whopper Batsman, not a great hitter, but if he gets a hold of one, it's going out.
Now batting, the catcher.
So, oh, excuse me, run number 7. They're going to leave in Doyle. What the hell? All right, well, must-win game. Herbisaurs now trail 9-7, and there's a well-hit ball. Take him out. Now, when I was saying the game is not perfect and some issues need correcting, the bullpen management in DH leagues, they're going to leave him in still, is absolutely horrendous. I don't know why. None of the other games had DH, so it's possible they just didn't have the experience programming. There's a hard hit ball to left, and Basket with the leaping catch at the wall. She saved a 2-run shot. She prevented this game from getting tied up. They're finally turning to Grace Lupinovich. Oh my goodness, what the heck? Well, Cash Basket again showing why she's the MVP here. She is just remarkable, and Lupinovic gets the quick strikeout to dash the Herbisaurs' chance of coming back in that inning, but they now have a 9-7 ball game. That'll bring the heart of the Freebooter lineup up. And Holbein is going to hit one hard. Looks like she just got under it. If she had managed to pull or push that hit, that could have been out. Bullpen management on the AI's part, whether you're playing or watching like we are, is not great. I do think it's been better for some of the teams we've faced than it has been for ours, but it definitely seems much worse in DH leagues as opposed to non-DH. Non-DH leagues, I actually see them being much more aggressive with the bullpen, and they're going to turn to Omar Chambo now. I'm not sure why. He's very similar to the pitcher they just had in. But this one's going to hook foul and remain in play for Rojas to get.
Now back, the center fielder, Stockton Brickhouse.
I think that it's possible. It's just because they are much more practiced with non-DH leagues with programming for that and balancing for it. So hopefully that's something that'll be fixed sooner than later. There are a few other issues, and he's going to strike out swinging. Game remains 9-7. Herbisaurs are down to their last 3 outs.
Now batting, the designated hitter. Now in the game, number 37.
Oh, and they're going to bring in Carson Rojas at second. Again, not a bad move of defensive substitution there. Lupinovic remaining in the game. She has actually become one of our best relievers, where when we started the season she was something of a secondary option, but again, that's why I think it's good design to have you play it out the first quarter of the season with here's the throw to first for the first out. Play out the first quarter of the season with your team as constructed. Steamboat Whistle was atrocious. And Kay Frequin was good when we saw her, but we hardly ever saw her. Lupinovic has been the arm that we've turned to in a lot of these situations. Well hit ball, fortunately, right to right field. Oakley Stiffs will field and catch, and that'll bring up Henry Hamster. Lupinovic's specialist trait fires, decreasing Hamster's contact and power. Backed him off with a little chin music there, and boy, go right after this guy. There we go. And he chases a high slider. Woodman able to track it behind first base for the 3rd out. So the Herbisaurs definitely made that interesting late. 6 runs in the 8th inning on the Emery Doyle Grand Slam. Just a series of plays where everything went wrong for the Freebooters for just a couple of defensive plays there. Suddenly none of their gloves seemed to work. They must have run out of batteries or something. A great day for the Freebooter lineup. They had 2 home runs. Cash Basket had another big one. Kelly Polbean also with the solo shot to start the game. You knew we were off to something good today when that happened. And I called him Tusk. His name was Fuss. Sorry about that. As I said, 3 innings pitched, 9 earned runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, 2 home runs. Gave up all the earned runs in this one. The Herbisaur bullpen actually pretty good in relief, although Filthwick did give up one of the runners that Fuss left on base. Angel Verde, 6 1/3, 1 earned run, 4 hits. So a great outing for him. 5 strikeouts. The 1 hit, a solo home run. And Emery Doyle struggles continue after getting one quick inning. He ends up giving up... Oh, they didn't count all those runs. So the reason for that was, I think it was with 2 outs, and if you have an error with 2 outs, any runs after that point don't count towards your earned run total. So he does give up the grand slam, but only takes 2 earned runs when it should have really been more. Well, I mean, it shouldn't. I don't know. Not sure I agree with that one, but Whopper Batsman has the grand slam in pinch hit after being pinch hit. Cash Basket, I would have liked to see get player of the game here. She was outstanding as always. Stockton Brickhouse, also a great game. I kind of would have liked to see Angel Verde get on there too. He had a very good performance after struggling a bit in his last one. And what I especially like to see was just 4 hits. So as close to a must-win game as you're going to see in a Game 18, and Freebooters win it. Some of our free agents have come down a little bit more, and let's just take a quick look at development. We have 1.5 million. We can look at ligament repair, which I don't love. I'll be posting this in the thread, so don't worry if you're missing anything. I do like Beefcake Powder. It's a fun name. It has some very good, it has some good gains. -4 accuracy isn't great, but he could use the velocity, and it's got a chance for him to give him K-Man. Video room's kind of funny. I like the description. Your players can't not suck before understanding why they suck. Sturdy Woodman hasn't really sucked though. He's been pretty good. Just for bros, we could turn Kale Santana into a hitter actually, but I don't think it's really worth it. He's 39. Just brought him on for the exact role he's filling now. But that'll do it for today. So, as always, thanks for sticking with me, thanks for watching, and have a great night.